Hello everyone, welcome. I'm back. Sorry I was away for so long. Thanks to everyone that's left comments and reached out to me to check on me to make sure that everything's fine. Everything's good, everybody's healthy, just been kind of busy. After the holidays and the first of the year, and I take all of my Christmas decorations down, I kind of sort through them again and make sure that there's nothing that I don't want to get rid of. And as I'm packing away, I'll make some decisions about things I don't want anymore. So I'll kind of clean out there again. And then, after everything's taken down and put away, the house looks kind of bare and naked. So I try to, as I go through redecorating areas, I'll go through all of my things and kind of pull out the things that I don't use anymore or anything that I don't want anymore, or don't care for. And I'll just go room by room, go through closets, go through drawers and cupboards, and just kind of clear out. And that takes me a little while, but it feels good. It feels good to have the house. At least I know that the house is more organized. If I want something, I can generally most of the time, go right to it and pull it out, and I can use it where I want. And my closet just feels better to be able to, when I decide I want a particular outfit or shirt or whatever, I can just go right to it and I know where it's at, and I don't have to pilfer through everything in the closet. So that's what I've been doing. I have been doing some stitching. And I'll show you that here pretty soon. But first of all, I want to thank everyone for, on our last video, I'd asked the question, are you a rabbit hole, rabbit trail type person? And thanks to everyone that participated and commented in the silliness and shared with me your ideas and what you think you are. What type of rabbit person are you? So thank you for that. I did have a question. Deanna, I believe that's how I pronounce your name. Deanna asked about, in one of the past videos I shared a Christmas stitch called "Oh Come Let Us Adore Him," and I believe it's a Jenny Hoffman Country Rustic Primitives pattern. How did I finish that? Did I use batting or sticky board? And Deanna, I did answer your question on your comment below on the video, but if you didn't happen to see that, and if you're happening to watch now, that piece, I just used a simple red and tan check homespun, and I used the glass from the frame, laid it on the homespun, traced it out, and cut the homespun to that size. And then I placed the stitch piece. I believe on that one, I might have frayed the edges of the stitch piece by just pulling off a few strands of threads off of all the edges. And then I just placed the finished piece on top of the homespun and centered it up the way I wanted it. And then I pinned it. And then I just tacked it in the corners with just an X, a cross stitch. And then placed it in the frame with the glass and put the backing on it, and it stays snug. It stays nice and tight. So I didn't need any batting or any sticky board. It holds it in there nicely. And I've had that piece 2 or 3 years now, and it has been shuffled around and stored and moved in the storage totes many times, and it's been just fine. So it's held nicely in the frame just that way. So that's how I did that. Also, I wanted to publicly thank Connie, who so generously and kindly gifted me with many patterns that she has stitched in the past and that she just wanted to pass along. And I appreciate you, Connie, for thinking of me and sharing them with me. I've gone through them and looked at them many times, and they're really great patterns, and I will be stitching them. And I just wanted to thank you again for being so kind to me and passing those along. I do really appreciate that. Thank you. That makes me think about, with all the patterns that I have, what the question of the day that I want to ask everyone is, how do you decide when you have so many patterns and possibly many WIPs, many works in progress, how do you decide when you have so many options to choose from, what do you want to stitch? How do you decide? I'm kind of it's interesting. I'm kind of a fly by the seat of your pants, stitch whatever speaks to you, whatever calls to you person. Now, I didn't used to be that way. I was raised with, you eat everything on your plate and you finish what you start. And so I used to be mostly a monogamous stitcher. Would I always finish all my pieces? No. Back in the day when I initially started stitching, I didn't finish many, which brings to mind, I have another one that I want to share with you, and maybe I'll do that on the next video. I've got to dig it out. Anyway, sorry. So I used to mostly just be monogamous stitcher. After I found FlossTube, it was kind of refreshing and uplifting, because in my heart, I've always wanted to be the type of person that had in the past. I would love to have had more than one project on the go, but because I just had it in my head, you stick with one and you work on it till it's done. That just kind of stayed with me. So then when I was watching FlossTube and I would see so many people with so many WIPs, so many projects, I thought, wow. And the more that I watched and I saw more and more people doing that, I thought, so it is okay to have more than one project on the go. That's great. And then, you know, watching Brenda, the sampler stitcher, I love her. I love her motto, you know, stitch what you love. That when I first heard her say that, I thought, you know what, that's right. This is a hobby. And then also hearing there are no cross stitch police. Well, that was liberating to know there's really no rules. It's do what you want. Do what you want, stitch what you want, how you want, on what you want, whatever color floss you want. And it's just kind of lifted a burden off of me, so to speak, which is kind of silly to say, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean. So now I'm okay with stitching more projects, and you've seen some of my WIPs in progress to know that I have more than one in the go. I just kind of get overwhelmed at times with so many that I want to stitch that I can't prioritize them. What do I do? So I'm just curious if y'all would mind sharing with me, what is your criteria for deciding? I've always enjoyed the planning videos that, you know, that people will do at the first of the year, because that gives me ideas of how I can organize my thoughts and what I want to, how I want to approach my attack of getting things done or working on the things that I want to do. So if you wouldn't mind answering that question, that would be great. Okay. Today we're brand new, something different to look at. We're in the great room. Sorry, it's kind of glary off to the sides. Kitchen's in there and the big back door is just around the corner here. And so it's really, we've had quite a bit of snow, not as much as a lot of you've gotten, or my friends to the north of me in Nebraska and Iowa, but we've gotten quite a bit, and it's not really, the sun's not shining, but it's just bright, the reflection off the snow. So here's my windows in my great room. So it's kind of glary off of the edges, but I think here in the middle will be fine as I show you things. So this stitch I showed you before, I think that is called Pomegranate Bird by Tina Woltman. I think that's what it is. And I've just got, this is my mother-in-law's buffet and just some pewter and colonial style decorations. And I love my flickering candle light. Those are the coolest things, those bulbs. They're really cool. Anyway, so that's where we are today. Something different to look at as I blabber on. All right, what have I been working on? I didn't watch my last video to see what I had accomplished and shared with you last time. I don't think these are duplicates, but if they are, I'm sorry, and you can enjoy seeing it again. Okay, first thing, Hannah Tingy by the Scarlet House, Hannah Tingy 1823. This is a stitch along with Christy of Crosshatch Quilts and a few others. And this is a little more progress. Sorry for that in the way. I believe the last time I shared with you, I think I just had down to right about here. But I got the moth finished. That's really cool. It's really colorful. And I was wanting to get down to the deer. So I have a little bit more on the deer finished up. And I don't think I had this last time, but I really like this. The wording is 1/1. I think I did do a couple more words. And there's eyelet stitches in here and in the flower. They're pretty. And the moth is really pretty, the colors. I'm using, this is 36 count espresso, and I'm using the DMC colors. So that's Hannah. Next one is Hannah Susanna Walker, 1848. Modern Folk Embroidery. I'm stitching this on Fox and Rabbit Up in the Attic 36 count fabric using the called for flosses. Let's see. I think last time I shared, I may have just had this top section to here finished, and I worked a little more on the border, did this flower, and started on the lady. And the ladies, if I can get really close, look at her cheeks. She's got quite the rosy red rouge on. I like her dress. So that's that progress. That's really a pretty one. Let's see. I guess that's the only two whips. Then I had a finish. I got Miriam Dowd done finally. Now, I haven't fully finished her. I'm trying to see if I have the thing that I want to put this on. Anyway, here's Miriam Dowd, and I didn't get to stitch the complete pattern because I ran out of fabric at the bottom. So I had to leave off a couple of little, there was, I think, another row of numbering, and I think it had a name of a school. So in order to fit the piece on my fabric, I had to shorten it up, but I'm really pleased with it. Where I want to hang this is in our entryway by my front door, and I purchased one of those quilt hanging, I don't know what you call them. And I was going to get it to show you, but anyway, you just kind of it sandwiches, has a backing board and then another board that goes across, and it kind of sandwiches your quilt or your piece, and it holds it onto a board, and then you hang the board on the wall. So the plan is to hang this by the front door, and we're still in the works of remodeling there, and it's not quite ready for me to hang this. So when I get it ready, totally finished, I will share a picture with you how that looks. So I'm glad to have that done. That's a finish. Something else that I did, I want to take a little bit of a break from stitching, and I made this little needle book. This was a kit from Robin and Stitches, I believe, on Etsy, and it was very, very economical. She sends you everything that you need to make whatever piece it is that you want to make. So this is just a little needle book. I used some of my own wool or felt, and I added, this only came with 2 of the black flower shapes. So to cover up my stitching, I wanted to add another piece. So I used 2 of my own pieces of felt for that, but I thought that was so cute. And a button from my grandma's button stash. And I've got needles all over the place, but I need to gather them up and put them in here. I kind of just stitched it down to where it can close this way, fold it up, or right now I just kind of have it tucked in there. But I thought that was sweet. So that's that. Then I don't have a cover sheet for this, but this is called Hearts and Flowers Pillow Tuck by Country Rustic Primitives, Jenny Hoffman, on Etsy. You can purchase this as a PDF download. I stitched this on 32 counts Weigart that I got from Hobby Lobby. I stitched the whole piece first and then did the coffee dye and then finished it. And I added 2 glass head bead needles, pins. Thought that was sweet. It was pretty quick stitch. Let's see. Then another one that I did this one a couple of years ago from the past. This one's called, I'm not sure. I think it's just Be Mine. It's by Sandy Whitlow, the Humble Stitcher. She has an Etsy shop also. Cute. Cute little hearts and sheep. This one also I stitched on 32 counts Weigart Hobby Lobby fabric. And I stitched it first, then I stained it afterwards. DMC flosses, so it's pretty color fast. I don't have to worry about it fading or running. And then coffee dyed it after I stitched it. So that's that. It's sweet. You can't go wrong with little sheep. All right, next is by Shelly On, Primitive Stitchin'. She has an Etsy shop also, and this is called Count the Hearts Valentine Pillow. Sorry. And here is my finish. This, is really kind of a Valentine theme, but I think it's neutral enough that I'm going to leave out all the time. This is stitched on 32 count Zweigart. Stitched it all first and then coffee dyed it afterwards and then fully finished it. Really cute. Okay, so that's all I have for Valentine's. Now I'm getting in the mood to start stitching spring. I kind of like to have these things ready for the season so that I can add them to my decor. And I'm a slow stitcher. I don't stitch very quickly. So I have to start working on things quite a bit ahead of time. So I got to thinking, what did I want to start on for springtime? So I pulled out, let me take this out. Too much glare. Sorry for the crinkle. This is Scattered Seed Samplers, and it is called Pillow Tuck and Bittersweet Berry Fob. And I only made the Pillow Tuck. I haven't fully finished this, but here's the stitched piece. Now this, I think, is 28 count. It's an even weave, and I lost the tag that was on it telling me what it was. But I think it's a Lugana. And I really like it. Really like stitching on the fabric. And I really think it's cute how this turned out. Let's see. It called for DMC, and I used everything that called for. The only different thing that I did was in the grass down here, she had a date stitched in like negative space. Nope, it was fully stitched. The year was fully stitched, and beside the key, she had initials, and I didn't want to do that. So I left those things out, but I did add some more little hearts. This one was in the pattern, and I think that's the only one. So I just added those to kind of take up a little bit of the space. But I think he's pretty. And even though these are bittersweet berries, I don't think it doesn't scream fall to me. I think just because it's a bunny and still the lighter green floss colors, I think it'll look fine for springtime. And I'm not sure how I'm going to finish this. I don't really know. I haven't measured this yet to see if it will fit in a frame, which is what I would like to do. But if not, I guess it'll end up being a pillow. But I thought that was sweet. That was cute. Okay. That's it. I'm sorry it's not long. I'm sorry I was gone for so long and then to come back and do such a short video, but I didn't want to wait very much longer to do another one. But because I've been busy cleaning out and doing other things, I just don't have very much more to share with you. So I hope everybody's well and happy, content as can be, and I hope that you're stitching up a storm all that you can. Can we ever really stitch enough that we want? But I'll probably add some photos here at the end of some completed pieces. Maybe I'll throw in some things that I've done from the past that I don't have with me, but some other completed pieces that you can see from my past stitching. And don't forget to answer the question, how do you decide what you want to stitch next when you have so much to choose from? And take care, stitch all the things, and I'll see you next time. Bye.